Morning, Saints. I'm Zach Graff,
And I'm Brett Overvold.
and this is SFHS Today. In international news, the coronavirus has been dominating the headlines with over 6,000 cases in 18 countries and over 130 deaths as health officials struggle to contain the virus and find a cure.
In national news, last Wednesday the impeachment process entered a new phase. Under impeachment rules, senators submit questions to be read by the Chief Justice, John Roberts.
And in local news, last Tuesday evening there was a threat towards the school district. The situation is currently under investigation by Anoka County Sheriff's Office, according to Officer Hearn.
Also, the construction process is entering a new phase. The D-Wing will soon be remodeled. Students with lockers in this area are being asked to relocate by the end of the month.
Not only is the school new for our students, but it is also a new experience for our foreign exchange students. Reporter Jake Ferguson spoke with Brazilian foreign exchange students Luisa Fontana and Ana Jabor about their experience here at St. Francis so far.
I'm Ana and I'm from Brazil.
I am from Brazil.
I came with 2 bags, like 2 medium bags and then a small one in a backpack. And I hopefully will come with a lot more bags. Hope so.
I came with 2 bags, and I'll probably go back with those 2 bags and a few boxes.
So my favorite thing about Minnesota is that it's so different from where I live because we don't have winters. So we have the chance to have all the good snow stuff, but I guess I'm kind of sick of it now.
My favorite thing about Minnesota is, even though I don't like the winter, I like when it's snowing outside and I can just stay home and watch a movie.
I don't know what is my least favorite thing about here. I guess the cold too.
The cold.
So one thing that I wish I could bring it back to Brazil was it's kind of stupid, but kettle corn, because I love it so much. And I think I'm gonna miss my friends that I made here, my family. I think I'm gonna miss it all because I've been waiting for it for so long.
I think one thing I would like to take back with me is all the people I've met and I love right now.
Yeah, I actually wanted to come back for college. That was my dream. But now I don't know because it's a little expensive. So I'm gonna try, but I don't know if I...
That's all.
Do you think you'll ever come back?
Yes, I'll definitely come back.
Thanks. It's always interesting to get a new perspective. Moving on, there are some other students in our community who have been working to get their voices heard.
Our reporters Marissa Panicoke and Morgan Nielsen spoke to some of our Hmong students about their passion for a student program for students of diverse backgrounds that lost funding. They have even spoken with the school board about trying to get more support.
How would you guys say this program has helped you?
For me, I was able to see many different cultures, especially when we used to have festivals here.
For me, it was eye-opening to see the different cultures we have in this community, and it was just a fun experience with a lot of people. It's just sadly that we don't have it anymore.
And why don't you have it anymore?
So from the start, we weren't really funded. It was more voluntarily, anyone who wanted to pitch in, set things up, or voluntarily performing in the festivals and stuff, us reaching out personally to people. But we were never really funded. It was just volunteer work. But recently we just stopped doing the program, I think in 2016, 2017. So it's not much we can do now.
Well, as recent years, you kind of start realizing that the minority groups in the school are starting to grow, and you kind of get to see that there's different type of ethnicities coming through. So I think it's important just to kind of recognize those.
I think this could really benefit our community as a whole.
Speaking of student support, our counseling department is starting a student support group during Saints Time to help students deal with mental health issues. The first topic is self-care. Reporter Sophie DeRoy and Ryan Aschenbach got more information.
The topic was self-care.
We had our first student support group, and I think it went really well. We had a nice group of students, and we did a community circle, and we had a talking piece, and students were able to share information about what they do for self-care, and they were able to share out and expand other people's ideas of what self-care is and how do you manage that and how do we help each other and support each other. And yeah, I thought it went really well with a really great discussion, and I think people left with great ideas. So next week we were planning to do self-care part 2.
It was a good experience. Everyone kind of shared their thoughts on self-care and what they can do to get motivation and activities they can do for self-care.
Last Wednesday, DECA competed in their first competition in St. Cloud. Many of our SFHS members were able to make it to state, which will take place on March 1st through the 3rd in Minneapolis.
We had 23 St. Francis High School students attend Crossroads Mall for our DECA competition.
The competition went well. 14 out of 23 of us are going to state, and I made it to state in both my events.
Students were able to compete in a variety of different areas. The most popular ones were a prepared presentation, which obviously they prepared before heading to the mall and they presented their ideas to a judge. Other students did role plays. So they were given a business scenario or a business problem, a business concern, and our students needed to come up with a solution.
The competition was pretty nerve-wracking. It required a lot of preparation.
After competing at the mall, we headed over to Sauk Rapids Rice High School where we had our award ceremony. We had 14 of our 23 students advance to the state competition. So that is a very good accomplishment for our St. Francis High School students.
Speaking of competitions, the Bridge Street Singers of St. Francis participated in the show choir competition in Gretna, Nebraska, where they took home the grand champion trophy for the second year in a row, and will compete this Saturday at Logan High School in La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Also, the one-act play placed first in subsections and went on to compete in sections on Saturday in Princeton. The first place show from sections represents 7AA at state this Friday at O'Shaughnessy Auditorium at St. Kate's.
While these other activities are going strong, Student Council is gearing up for one of their biggest events. Reporter Grace Kolb went out and got some more information about Snow Week.
Why did the class colors change? So last year we started some new positions on our student council. We kind of restructured the whole thing. So we have class presidents, so freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, each has an elected representative, and we wanted part of their job to be picking a class color. And from here on out, like your freshman year will pick their own class color, and that'll follow you all 4 years. So it's more of a unifying grade thing, so you feel like you have a say in what color that you are.
Different this year, Student Council decided to add in the volleyball tournament for Saints time throughout the week. And they're going to do a sumo wrestling game at the Pet Fest. There might also be a few surprises along the way. You never know.
So this year we'll be doing a volleyball tournament during the snow days, and what it will be is all the grade levels playing each other during the Saints times.
Student Council usually starts talking about it in November, and right now we have about 33 kids, and they'll divide into committees. So there's a group that talks about the Pet Fest, there's a group about flowers, Spirit Week, decorations. So we sort of divide and conquer and have meetings where everybody comes together to talk about how all the ideas will come together for Snow Week. So there's a lot of moving pieces.
Also, junior shirts are now on sale. Make sure to order yours this week. On Sunday, January 26th, Billie Eilish swept the Grammys. We will now bring you to Mason's Music Review, where reporter Mason Shields looks into his favorite Eilish song.
Hi, this is Mason's Music Mayhem. I'm going to be reviewing Billie Eilish Pirate Beard O'Connell. That's her full name. Born December 18, 2001, she is an American singer, songwriter, and musician. She gained attention in 2016 when she uploaded the song Ocean Eyes. Billie Eilish swept the 4 major categories at this year's Grammy Awards and won an additional trophy. She won the Best Song, Album, Record, New Artist, and Best Pop Vocal Album. I'm going to be talking about my favorite song by her called Bellyache. So I really like the song because of the chord progression. But I think she's just going crazy. one lyric I really like is when she says, "My friends aren't far, in the back of my car, lay their bodies." Honestly, I just think it's just plain out creepy, and it just kind of gives the vibe of her song right away, right off the bat. And the chorus of the song has a lot of bass. Billie Eilish has just tons of bass in her song because her her really high soprano voice mixes so well with that deep bass in every song she has. But here's the chord progression in the beginning of her song, Billie. Friends aren't far, in the back of my car, lay their bodies. And then the bass goes down right here. Right at her chorus, the bass just goes. All the 808s just start going insane. But that's all we have time for today. Thank you.
Well, that reminds me, while we're on the topic of the Grammys, reporters Grace Kolb and Marissa Panicoke found out what some people enjoy listening to for this week's RQT.
It's the random question thing, ding.
What is your favorite song of 2019?
Robbery by Juice WRLD. My top song from 2019 was High Fashion by Roddy Ricch.
My top song was Earthquake by Tyler, the Creator.
My top song was Earthquake by Tyler, the Creator.
Remember You Young by Thomas Rhett. One Too Many by Luke Combs.
Old Town Road, Shot of Flow 3, Highest in the Room.
UCLA.
Love Me More by Trippie Redd.
Okay, my top song for 2019 is Seven Rings by Ariana Grande.
Yeah, my top song is Six Kiss.
My top song is Guaranteed.
Pluto Projector.
Now we'll go to Jordan Holler with sports.
Hey, Saints. I'm Jordan Haller, and this is sports. As you all know, the world had a tragic loss. Kobe Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter got into a helicopter accident on the 26th. He was one of the biggest influences in basketball, and a true legend. They were not the only ones in the crash. There were 7 other people who died in the crash as well. Let's all take a moment of silence for the people who lost their lives in this tragedy. Some reporters got some info from students about this horrific accident.
What was your initial reaction to Kobe passing?
I actually remember right where I was standing the first time I saw it. We were at Shields, and I saw the headline, and I thought it was probably a hoax, an internet hoax, and I kept doing some research and found out that there were confirmed news sources out there, and I was pretty shaken up. I know Kobe well from watching him play a lot and being a Lakers fan, and it was pretty emotional. And then as a dad and seeing that his daughter was with him, it was a very sad and tragic day.
How do you feel about the NBA talking about changing the logo?
I think it's a good idea. It's a good way to honor him.
So how did you find out about Kobe's death?
I was in my room sleeping, and my mom started knocking on my door, and I woke up. I was like, what? She's like, Kobe died.
How did Kobe's death affect you?
Well, Kobe was always one of my favorite players growing up, and he was just a really good competitor. So it made me pretty sad when I saw the news, but it seemed like he had a pretty big impact on basketball, so it sucked.
What's your opinion on the new logo they're talking about?
I think it'd be really cool if they made him the logo. I don't think they should change the colors, but I think they need a new silhouette, and I think he'd be a good guy to change it to.
Boys basketball took a tough loss against the Tigers last week, 85-50. Wyatt Schroeder is leading the team with 13.9 points per game. Their record is 4-12 so far. This week they play Zimmerman here at the home court on Tuesday at 7:25. On Thursday they play at home again against Duluth East at 7. Then the next day they have another home game against Becker at 7:15. Girls basketball had a close game against Princeton last week, but lost 44-41. Eve Schultz is leading the team with 8.1 points per game. The girls are 2-16 so far. This week, they play at Becker High School at 7:15 on Tuesday. Then they go to Irondale on Saturday to play at 12:30. Boys hockey has some skilled players on the team. Twins Cody and Dylan Strait lead the team with points. They each have 33 points, both with 21 assists and 12 goals. The boys are 8-9-1 so far this season. They play this week today at home against Becker at 7. Then they play tomorrow at Cambridge against the Blue Jackets at 7. On Friday, they head to Princeton to play the Tigers for a 7 o'clock puck drop. Girls hockey lost against Princeton last week 6-2. They also played Osseo and lost 5-2. Jenna Krakowski leads the team with 23 points. Abigail Spitzer and Brooke Stearns are just behind her with 22 points. The girls are 3-21 so far this season. Wrestling won their meet in Chisago Lakes last week. This week, they have a tournament in Morris on Saturday. Some reporters got info on Andrew Hoagland and his recovery from his injury in the fall.
What's it been like coming back from your injury?
It was hard to start off with, but now it's been getting even better now that my leg's actually getting stronger and stuff, so it's not as hard.
Back to them.
Andrew's wrestling style is a little unique, so I really don't see it affecting him that much. He is building strength, but his unique style allows him to use his hips more than his legs and endurance. So I think it's kind of helping him, especially at the weight he's at.
What's the hardest part about your recovery been?
Probably just building up my muscle and getting it stronger so I'm quicker and I can actually get out on bottom.
Andrew's comeback has been really well. He's been working really hard in the practice room. He's had a couple matches and he's done very well.
How did it feel to finally get back into the ring?
It felt really good to be active again and having all the supportive teammates to help me along the way.
He's been a leader in the room ever since he's came back, just regaining strength in his leg and becoming a better wrestler every day.
How has it been to have Andrew back?
Having Andrew back as a senior has been great. His energy in the room, his excitement to compete right now is really high. He's a couple matches away from his 50th win, so he's got a goal there that he's been working for. It's just great to have another senior back on our lineup.
How has Andrew contributed to the team?
Being a leader as a senior is definitely helpful. Also, he's up at 195, 220, and sharing roles with senior Tate Skoquist, and they really strengthen our top of our lineup.
The gymnastics team took a loss against Monticello last week. Tomorrow, they have a home meet at the middle school against Chisago Lakes. It's at 6:30, and it's senior night for the girls. The dance team had their last invite meet at Moundsview. Both varsity kick and jazz got first place. Before we go, some reporters of ours went out and talked to students about ice fishing.
Ice fishing is very popular in the Midwest once winter comes. Many students around SFHS like to fish on the hard water. We went out to get some interviews.
Why do you ice fish?
I like the sport. I like being out on the ice.
Where do you go?
I usually go to Coon Lake.
I like just sitting out on the freezing cold ice, seeing a mark on the Vexlar and just catching mondos.
Where do you fish at?
Lake Okeechobee down in Florida sometimes, but I chop it up at Lake George sometimes.
Why do you ice fish?
I like to go out there with the sport, I just like the sport of fishing. I like to catch fish through small holes, and I like to tie on hooks onto line.
Where do you fish?
Your mom's house. I'm just kidding. Lake Manitoba.
It's a fun thing to do in the winter, and it's better than sitting in a parking lot.
Where do you go?
Green Lake.
Well, that's all we got this week, folks. Tune in next week for more of our winter sports.
Thanks for the sports update, Jordan.
Before we go, let's head inside St. Francis for a tour of the roof with Tate, Jake, and Reed.
What's up, YouTube? I'm Reed.
I'm Tate.
And I'm Jake. And we're doing Inside St. Francis.
Check it out.
On top of St. Francis.
Alright, so right now we're standing above the English Commons hallway area, sorta. That's the weight room over there. That's the old English hallway, Spanish hallway. So last time we greeted you guys, we were over there by that big furnace. Now we use one of the other accesses. We use one of 3 accesses. We went through 2. Then the other one is like a little half door.
All right, how many roof accesses are there?
There's 3 total, one over on that side, one right where we're standing by, and an access half door on the other side, south side.
And how many square feet is the school?
The school is 320,000 square feet.
For the new locker room and stuff, as you can see. What are reasons you guys have to come up here?
Change filters, change belts, grease, oil.
And how often do you guys come up on the roof?
3 to 4 times a year.
3 to 4 times a year.
And if we have trouble with something, because there's these 2 rooftops over here have supply units in them.
All right, we just finished the rooftop package.
It's pretty interesting. Didn't know a lot of the stuff that he told us about, like their storage units up there.
Yeah, we didn't know how big the school was either. It's pretty big.
Yeah, and I don't know, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Think about.
Thanks to Dean for always showing us around and helping us out with this series, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, he takes time out of his day to help us out, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Thanks for watching. Stay safe, Saints.